Hello students, today we're going to look at beautiful agate. This is a kind of rock formation that is made when wood is in water at very low temperatures for a very long time. The way that the minerals deposit themselves in these beautiful stripes happens over long periods of time. So all of a sudden you might notice that these are not real agates. This is a watercolor painting. We are going to try and show the beauty of agates while using the natural process of watercolor painting and colors that are analogous, or they connect to one another really well. So to start this technique, we get a oval wet on our paper. This is going to contain the slice of agate. And then I get my brush wet and lift up some pigment from my favorite watercolor. Right along the outside, I'm just touching the brush ever so slightly so that pigment goes right in one spot and it will begin to spread. And then I chose an analogous color for the center. Those two colors are going to work together and even blend together in some places and look like an agate. Agate is sliced by human beings so that we can see its beauty. So these are actually supposed to be a sliced agate. We can look at the outside of an agate for the other part of our project. Here I am using another color, just barely touching that bright pigment to the outside of my moistened oval on my paper, and then cleaning my brush and getting an analogous color, a color that could be a next door neighbor to that color on the color wheel. I'm just going to touch a little bit in the center. So red and pink could be neighbors with one another. And then I get out my sea salt and I sprinkle just a few grains right in the center. This is going to help with that crystallized effect we see inside of some agates. Here I am with another moistened oval. And you can choose any two colors that you like that mix well together because they're analogous. With watercolor, you will not control much. This is going to be a natural process, just like when things like crystals and gems are forming in nature. But you get some really cool results. You might go back and add an extra drip of water a place or two. You might even tilt your paper just a little bit to make it kind of do what you want to. But just like pour painting, this does what it wants to do, and that's part of why it's so awesome. You can see me cleaning out a yellow that often needs to happen, but if we put our watercolors away by holding them straight, then they won't run into one another. When you're sharing or using school watercolor, you just have to wipe out the pot of color from time to time. And so I decided on one last color that would make my picture feel complete. And then I decided I had room for one more little guy. And that paper does have to be moistened before you add any color. So I made my wet oval, and then I added my outside ring and my inside color, and then salt. That's all.